Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is our second show for the day. We are out here. I'm talking with Nick Sakis and Mr. Gene Volpe. We're going to be talking about turning your own superpower coffee hour into goodwill for your community. Gene has been doing this for a long period of time. And it's just we're going low tech here. We're talking about interpersonal relationships and conversations. We just got off a conversation, you guys who are watching us live before, with James Rembrandt, the Zillow killer, talking about high tech AI, kind of how it's going to be changing everything. But now we're going to be going a little bit more low tech and getting into your community, taking your boots off, really grounding yourself into your local environment and what that looks like. So, Mr. Gene Volpe, how are you?
What up, all my people?
Woo-hoo!
This is the second time you've seen me slide into your feed in the last 2 hours. Please don't cut me off. That's all I'm saying. I know. Listen, most people out here can take Volpe in doses, right? So, and I'm
That sounds
okay
like
with
a
that.
drug. You know that?
Yeah, well, it can be. It depends on if it knocks you out or if it gets you high, right?
Hi, Dr. McDaniel. I have a issue. You need some Volpe, but only take 2 milligrams a day, okay? And
2
all right, keep
milligrams.
going.
There's so many jokes there.
So many jokes.
So many jokes. I'm leaving them be.
All right, so we got that out of the way. Mr. Nick Sakis, how are you?
I'm doing good. You know, we like you said, we had a very heavy conversation with James, who brought a ton of heat, but also artificial intelligence is everywhere, and people are already kind of sick of hearing about it. And so this episode is more along the lines of bringing it back to something you can do that's non-techie, that can feel much more welcoming and inviting, whether you have a database that's 100 people or 100,000 people. This is something that you can do. And Gene dropped just a little bit of this nugget in the last episode, and I felt like we need to expound on this and pull some more knowledge out of that juicy bald head of his and find out exactly how to do this process, because I think a lot of people can benefit from it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is true. And the one thing that I've always been told by the Grand Master, aka my father, is the fact that when it comes to real estate, this is a belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball business. And yes, can we get techie? Can we get weird? Can we do videos? Can we do social media? Can we do all of that stuff? 100%. But day in, day out, if there's no trust built, then what is the point? You're not going to get anywhere because people aren't going to have that belief in you. Like, would you go to your banker that you didn't trust to cash a check or get some cash out or open a savings account or something along those lines? I mean, I go to my same bank every single time I need to do a cash call and order cash, and they know me. They're like, okay, Greg, you're good for this because we trust you. And I'm like, I'm ordering like very large sums of money in liquid cash, and they do it because they trust me. So that's the same thing with real estate when it comes to commissions and selling a house and them getting their proceeds. There's a lot of money involved, and the trust value has to be there. And Gene has really come up with a really good idea and has executed on it in regards to doing the superpower coffee hour. And I would love to see what Gene has to say, kind of how it's been working out for you. And just let's really dive into this for the next 25 minutes.
Well, the truth is, it hasn't been working out for me because I haven't done it a little bit. I gotta I gotta bring it back.
You don't fucking say that on air.
No, it's not why. I mean, look at it. It is what it is. I mean,
One of those things that works so good that you stop doing it.
Yes.
well, listen,
Yeah.
life picked back up, right? I mean, if you
Yeah.
remember when this was at when COVID was going on. So if you've listened to the story, you probably heard me mention this in the past. When I oh, wait a minute. Oh, Gail's at the Waste Management golf outing today. Wow,
Oh,
16th
she's
hole.
having so much fun.
Super jealous of her right now.
Me too.
That's incredible. So I here's what happened. Let me just give you a little history. So there's some backstory. When this whole thing went down with COVID, I got out of my worst paying Uber driver job. And if you don't know what I mean by that, I have 2 teenage girls, and that was just me driving them all over the place. So for somebody who has self-proclaimed ADHD, that's a tough break in the day when you have to stop, what you're doing at 2:15 to get them up and then get them to dance. And by no means am I complaining, right? because I have the ability to do that. So I'm lucky. But it's hard to run your own business when your day is broken in the middle by 4 or 5 hours. You know, it wasn't just, it was, hey, well, who's that? Hi, come in here and say hi. Hurry up. I was just talking about you.
Speaking of getting broken up.
Yeah, speaking
Speak to
of
the
worst
daughters.
paid Uber drivers, you're live on the air. Say hello.
Hi.
That's Gina.
Hi.
Be good. So there's one of my passengers, right? But not anymore. She drives herself now.
Nice.
But when she's not hitting other people from behind, that's another story.
Oh my God, so many
Yeah.
stories.
Last Friday, that's how I woke up at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, no.
Neither here nor there. So basically, what happened was everybody was home, right? So like they shut everything down. We went through a period where I was like, get as much chicken broth and pasta as you can. This might be a long thing. And we started to cook and started to have fun. You guys saw some of the videos with the wife in the kitchen on Sundays, making chicken cutlets. Like I was drinking at 7 a.m. in the morning, not in a problem way. I was just like, yeah, let's have some Bloody Marys, man. We
More
got
home.
nothing to do, nowhere to go, right?
Yeah, why
I
not?
called it airport rules. The years of 2020 and 2021 were airport rules. You know that old thing when it's like you go into the airport on vacation and you're like, let's start drinking. And as people are like, it's 5:40 in the morning. You're like,
That's so true.
doesn't
That is
matter.
so true.
Right? It doesn't matter. So my world in 2020 and 2021, and listen, still sometimes these days because I'm 47 and I do what I want. There's still
You're a grown ass man.
That's grown ass man, dog. That's right.
I felt a little tick though when he said that. Like, is his wife home or not? I don't know if she's not
Exactly.
here. I could say what I want because she's not around.
Oh no, listen, I gotta run. I do run most of what I have to do through the boss. I call her the boss, and people are like, I thought you work for yourself. I'm like, well, I work for Dana. You know what I mean? I do what I do.
There
But-
was a tick. There was a little tick there.
Yeah, you caught that. I was like, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't say it too loud. She might hear me. So the whole point of this is that I started to realize that when I didn't have take it back to the Uber thing, these kids were home 24/7. So I started to work literally 14-hour days. Like I would get up at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe 9 o'clock, and then I would work until I was done. There was no break in it. So I was super productive by like Thursday. I'm like, I'm getting stuff done, and business got better for me. It didn't get worse. I was nervous. Running a marketing agency is a lot like insurance. They're usually the first things people cut when they come into a downtime, right? So I was nervous, and I just started to realize as I talked to more and more people weren't in the same headspace as I was. They were freaking out. And I started to actually feel guilty, right? So like, I was like, wait, why am I the one that's flourishing in this? And everybody else is not everybody, right? Because I know a lot of people did really well and people were cool, but people were struggling. And I just came up with this idea where I was like, yeah, dude, I'll open my calendars on, I forget what it was. I think it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Tuesdays and Thursdays for 2 hours. And I put in 15-minute slots and I opened up a Calendly account. And I actually created artwork. While you guys are talking, I'll try to pull up one of my old flyers, Superpower Coffee Hour flyers. And I just invited people to get on, and people weren't out in public face to face. There was no foxhole things going on. You weren't doing happy hours. Like all the happy hours were virtual. So there were people out there that just weren't getting FaceTime with other humans. And I was like, look, this is a time for you to jump on and just get anything out of me that you want. You want to ask questions? Great. You want to yell? I'm listening. Like it was just one of these things. And I never intended it to grow my business base. That was not it at all. And I hope you believe me. If you know me, you know, I don't usually shoot shit. It wasn't, but I grew my business base. It just sort of happened by accident. It's like when you do more videos, people are like, why are you doing all these videos? You're like, because I like doing videos. And then all of a sudden your business increases. It's not by accident. When you're doing charities, people go, I don't want to promote that I'm doing a charity. I go, what if it meant you were going to raise more money for that charity? It doesn't have to be self-grandizing, right? Grandizing, whatever that ends up being.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. All those things, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be that pat on the back thing. It can just be because you want to bring more money into a charity that you care about. But ultimately, on the side of that, you know, I tell people all the time, my father died of leukemia. If you're out running numbers for the LLS or the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society or whatever, I'm paying attention because that affected my life, right? And I'm more likely to do dinner with you. I'm more likely to do business with you. I'm more likely because you and I have that same thing in mind. So I just went on a complete psychomaniac rant, but that's what it was. It was me putting something out there for goodwill and to get in people's spaces and contact and communicate with them. And it turned into something really, really good that, you know, life is busy right now. We're back in the grind. Things have opened. I just
Mm.
don't. I want to say to you, I haven't had the time to do it. That's a terrible excuse. I know that it works because I've done it. I've proven it out, and I will get back to it.
Well, the funny thing is, Gene, there is a percentage that 14% of the time when you have a philanthropic heartthrob, something that really resonates with you, 14% of the time people would want to do business with you more based upon whatever that is. So for you, it's leukemia. Nick has his, I have mine. Mine is I love cats, man. I love my little kitty cats because they're defenseless. So I mean, rescuing little kitty cats or something like that, or doggos, dude, that's a big thing for me. And I would support anybody that wanted to come into my marketplace that would say, "Hey, look, dude, can you give me $10 for, the SPCA or local cat center or local dog center?" And I would be emotionally bound to them at that point because it holds a strong value. Now, with your dad and leukemia, that's totally different, but it's whatever is strong to you. And that's the most important part. Don't be me, don't be Gene, don't be Nick. Just be you and figure out what's important to you. Nick,
Wait,
what are your
people,
thoughts on this?
wait, real quick, Nick, if you don't
Yeah,
mind me
yeah.
jumping ahead, I want to do something real quick. Conversely, Greg, 14% of what was the number you just gave me? 14% of
14
what?
you're 14 the client, you have a when you talk to your clientele and they have a reaction in a positive way towards your philanthropic mindset, whatever that industry or group might be, you have a 14% more likelihood of doing a deal with them at the
Got
end
it.
of the day. But here's the thing: when you're out there doing these deals and you're out there making these contributions and everything else, you're not working, you're playing. This is something that you have a passion for, and it comes through very vibrantly. And that's where the coffee hour really, I think, really shone through, because you sat down and you're like, I really don't give a flying fuck about about whatever. Dude, if you get a shit day, man, sit down, talk to me about it. Like,
Yeah.
tell me, like, what went wrong? Did you stub your toe in the morning? Did your kid yell at you? Did your boss yell at you? I mean, did you get a promotion? Just let's riff. And
That's
Yeah,
it.
so I want to put my marketing hat on and ask some more detailed questions here.
Yeah, please.
ooh,
I'm
please.
very curious, right? So we mentioned first thing is you set up a Calendly account. So if anybody doesn't know, Calendly is a software you can sign up for. There's a free version. I think you get up to one calendar, and maybe it's got the branding on it. If you pay for it, it might be like $20 a month, but it's very inexpensive software. You link it to your Google Calendar, and you're off to the races. Now, for your purposes, this Superpower Coffee Hour is the title, but you said you gave it a 2-hour block. And is that right? So 2-hour blocks?
Yeah. I was like, I want to say it was from 10 to 12 Eastern.
So 10 to 12 Eastern, Monday through Friday?
No. It was just 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay, so you did a Tuesday, Thursday, which I like, a 2-hour block. And then of those 2-hour blocks, there was 30-minute increments with 15 minutes in between? Or what is that?
I just opened it up for 15-minute slots during, so it was like
15-minute
8
slots.
slots a day.
Okay, so that's cool because now you're not intimidating. It's just like hop in real quick and have a chat with me. So 15-minute slots, really cool. I like that.
Yep.
Now, how did you get the word out that you were even doing this, and for people to even know the calendar link to even book an appointment with you?
Is this a setup?
No, I'm legitimately curious because I do think, listen, we talked about this before a couple of shows ago where like 2023 is, I believe, the year of networking again, right? Like, so
Yep.
we're coming off of 2021. Everybody's kind of getting into it. 2022, we're still kind of figuring it out. Now it's like full bore. Hey, I haven't been to networking events in 2 years. I really need to get back in my game. I need more communication with people. I need to bring people closer into my circle. So this really fits into that narrative of, and especially for me, like, obviously I'm big into paid advertising and marketing. I think getting your message out there to the masses is a great thing to do. You can turn ads on immediately and start to get some exposure. But if I'm putting my real estate agent hat on, right now has never been more of an important time to hug your database. And we talk about that. We don't really define what that means, but this could be a perfect example of what Gene's going to share with us, or is sharing with us, about how you can reconnect with people that you might not have talked to in a while. Hey, sorry for being an asshole. I know I've been busy, but you sent somebody an email. I'm doing this new Zoom thing. I'd love to chat with you for 15 minutes. It's been 3 years since we talked. Can you believe it? Right? Like that kind of reconnection is really, really important right now because nobody needs a real estate agent until they need a real estate agent, but everybody needs a friend. And so, Gene, floor is yours.
You see that right there? So there's so you were asking me what I did.
Walk everybody through what we're looking at.
This is just this was an Instagram thing. If you look here, I posted this Canva art probably 148 weeks ago. So figure out what that ends up being. That's probably almost 3 years ago, right?
Why do you have no eyes in that photo?
I drew that freehand, and it was supposed to be a caricature thing. I mean, can you tell it's me?
Yeah,
it's
but you have no eyes and no nose.
Pretty good.
No
right?
glasses.
And no glasses, right? Well, I didn't probably at this time when I did this, I might not have had glasses actually.
Interesting.
So I just basically put this in here. If you've been watching my Greg, you remember this, the Challenge to Lead videos, and you haven't, and if you haven't, what are you doing with your life? You might have heard me announce the Superpower Coffee Hour. These are 15-minute sessions for you and I to privately discuss anything you want. If you're struggling mentally to these crazy times, need marketing advice, want to talk through finances, vent, learn about help that is available to you, or just check in and chat with your boy, sign up. I'm blocking time off every day next week. This was early on from 10:30 to 11:30 in 15-minute blocks. Sign up. I'll send you a link. We drink coffee together. Join me. And there you go. I put a Calendly link in my link tree. And feel free to share. So that was one of those things where I was like using my own personal network to get that out. And then just saying to folks, look, if you know anybody that's trying to jump in and actually you want to laugh, I'm going to tell you something that came from this.
Yes.
That's friggin' hilarious. And I wish I had the poster. Thomas Verdi, if you are listening to this voice, you need to send me a poster. So Tom Verdi jumped on one of my calls. He's a local, younger filmmaker here close to me, not far. And while we were on the call, I was eating pastuch, which is an old Italian, like it's an Italian thing around Easter. So this was probably right around the April, early May mark of COVID of that year. Okay. And we had made them, and they're phenomenal with coffee. It's basically, they're almost like giant baked dumplings, but with like cheese in them, regatta cheese.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing,
dude! They're so good. They're so if they would last, Greg, when I made them, I would ship them out to you, but they would probably get terrible in transit. But he made a comment about it, and I explained to them what they were, and I think at the time he didn't know what it was, or maybe he was one of the ones that knew what it was because they made it. It's an Italian tradition. Well, one of the days I jumped in my car and dropped them off into his mailbox. And so it was like one of those things where he was like, dude, that was amazing. He took pictures of himself eating them. We talked about it again. A couple years down the road, he calls me and he's like, yo, we're shooting a movie. Do you want to be in it? And I'm like, absolutely. Like, you know me, of course. So we go down. I'm just going to be an extra in this movie called The Toms. And I think it's thetomsfilm.com. And while we were there, he was like, do you want a speaking role? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yes.
What kind of question is that? So we filmed this like right around the time everything was shut down or after it was coming out. I forget what it was. But he's actually, he has it right now at a bunch of film festivals. That's your awesome. Boy's face is up in New York City on some screen somewhere. And on the poster,
that's
and
awesome.
on the poster, my head's at the top of the poster. It's hilarious. But it's just one of those things that would never came about without the Superpower Coffee. It didn't make me any money. Not yet. Anyway.
Wait. What's the name of the movie? The Toms?
The Toms.
Yeah, I'm looking up right now.
Yeah, it's like a 10-minute short or maybe 11 minutes. It's like one of those artistic things. I think he was going to submit it over to what's the one in the big one?
Sundance?
Yeah, something like that. One of those, I think. I could be talking out of school, but yeah, it was one of those things. And my face is on the poster, and he posted the poster, and I was like, dude, you have got to send me that poster. I need it, right? And meanwhile, nobody in my family at all even knows I left. It's sort of like when I was on Billions. You guys know that story, right?
Oh yeah.
You know,
you sent me the screenshot of that one, and there you were like right in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on Billions in a scene with Giamatti.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that's one of the greatest stories of all time. Are you kidding me?
Oh, the thumbnail for this episode is going to be great. I can already feel the movie.
I'll send you some artwork. You just when we get off of here, I'll send you over. I did a gene. What do they call it? A color treatment when you're in acting. it's like I forget what it's called. It's like give me your reel, right? Like give me your
Yeah.
reel.
Yeah.
And I created this reel. It's literally like 2.5 seconds, and it's me turning away from Giamatti, and the screen stops, and it goes bing, and there's an arrow that goes to my head. It says "Your boy." So now I'm going to be able to add my Tom's film scenes into my reel.
That is unbelievable. Okay, so we got to scrap this episode because Gene's obviously fucking famous, and nobody else is going to sign up for your coffee power hour unless you've been in movies like Gene.
Listen, I just hope for the people that don't know me, you have got to know what an asshole I am and how
No, you're
fun,
not.
dude. No. I mean it like this. Like, I think these things are when I see something that I like, I don't think I'm an actor. I don't want people to be like that dude. I couldn't be the furthest thing from being deserving to be on screen anywhere, but I've weaseled my ways into these situations.
That's amazing.
And they always end up being hilarious.
That's amazing.
So I just want to make sure we're clear on that, because I'm not like, yo, dude, I'm a serious actor. It was totally ridiculous, and it was so funny.
But the funny thing about that is the fact is that it came from being hyper local. It came from getting a cup of coffee and just having a communication, bringing value to another human being, which is something that a lot of us we overlook because it's so simplistic in so many different ways, but it's so powerful in the exact same amount of ways. The power of communication and human interaction is nothing to be tried with at all. I tell the story all the time. You guys have heard me tell it, and yes, I'm going to cry when I tell this story. I do it every friggin' time. I had a friend, Angela, who's taken the tram in San Francisco down to the Ferry Building, which is a very iconic area. If you guys know anything about San Francisco, it's down right on the port, right next to the Bay Bridge. And there's all kinds of shops and restaurants in there and everything else. And she was going to meet a friend for lunch. And so she met this lady. I'm already feeling myself well up. And she met this lady on the train. They started talking, and she told the lady she just met, she's like, you know what? Forget my friend. I'm going to reschedule with her. So reschedule with her friend. She's like, I'm going to take you out to lunch. And so she took her out to lunch. And they had a great time. Had a glass or two of wine, salads, just enjoying beautiful San Francisco on a summer day. The lady called her back, and this is when I tear up. This is when the lady called back. She said, you don't know this, but I was on the way to kill myself that day. And you saved my life. Think about that. Think about the interpersonal communications and relationships you can have that save people's lives. Gene and Nick and I will laugh all day long. We're buddies. We love to bust each other's balls. But what if that one conversation or communication or something saves someone's life? Maybe not physically, but maybe financially, maybe mentally. Maybe they just need a hug. That's what Superpower Coffee Hour is about. That's what getting out there really means. Being kind. Everybody's fighting something you don't know about.
Heavy. We just went real heavy. But excellent piggyback to this whole thing, because I do think that you never know what somebody's going through. And I always put my marketing hat on. So when I look at Gene's post on Instagram, it's like, doesn't matter what you're going through, whether you want to talk about marketing or stubbing your toe or like what. So it was the way that he was communicating with people is, hey, hop on for 15 minutes and let's chat on anything. So it removes you from Gene Volpe, the marketer, or Tom, Stewart, the real estate agent. And it's just, let's chat for 15 minutes and let's connect. Mm-hmm. And it's brilliant. And I love the idea. And I think that right now, if you got nothing going on and you want to talk about lead generating time, like what better opportunity to block off 2 hours of your calendar and really try to pack those 2 hours with as many 15-minute conversations with people as you possibly can that doesn't cost you anything, because you can use social media, and it's just an incredibly powerful way to reconnect with people.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it, and I think it's a great idea, and why we wanted to bring this episode again, because it's literally, we've said this 1,000 times, the best realtors just have a bunch of friends. Like, you treat your clients as friends, and these 15-minute conversations could be a key to something that you don't even know, but that's not the point. The point is you're just being friendly with people and opening up your calendar, which is time, which is the most valuable asset that you have.
Let me do something real quick. I want to bring this back just real quick because
All right,
Nick,
do it.
you said some great shit here, and I almost feel like sort of when we talk about videos, that can be a little overwhelming for people because there's multiple steps, right? Like, I'm not familiar with Linktree. I'm not familiar with building a Calendly link. I'm not great on Zoom. I don't know who I would talk to. Like, I can't make the artwork Gene made to advertise it. Like, there could be a lot of impedances into you doing that, right? So let's remove them. So I feel like let's tie it to business. Let's pretend I'm just not being a nice guy, but I do want to get business out of it.
Mhm.
Let's talk about this. So, Nick, do you think, and Greg too, do you think that when you hear people's names, do you tie them subconsciously to their profession? So, in other words, when I think of Nick Sakis, I think marketing, right? When I think Greg, I think host and real estate agent. Like, do you feel like subconsciously and without really doing it on purpose, do you tie people to their professions?
I think
Interesting.
you want me to say yes, but I'm going to say no, maybe. The reason I say no, maybe, is because I think you can think about in your own mind, or have room in your own mind, for 10 of the closest people that you know to know what their profession is, or to care enough to refer a person to help that other person's business grow. Maybe 10 people max.
Forget the referral. Forget referral. I don't even want to get into space. What I'm saying to you is, like,
for the most part, no. I don't care what you do. We're friends.
But
right?
All right, let me ask you this. Would you know if I sent you a message or you saw me online, for the most part, and I'm using me as an example. It's a terrible example because you know me well enough. But like, for a lot of people in your space, you probably know what they do. Just by, if you're watching them on a regular basis, you probably have an idea, right?
Well, you should.
Right. So I mean, like, Greg, do you attach that to people when you hear things like think about when I say fucking pick somebody, Jake Wolf. What do you think about?
Roofmax.
All right, done. It's done. So what I was getting at was, forget the superpower coffee hour. What if you just picked up your phone and texted somebody, and I was like, Nick, you probably don't we haven't talked in so long, you probably don't have my number in your phone anymore. Was just thinking about you for a second, wanted to reach out. Hopefully the family and the boys and everybody's well. Right?
Yeah.
That's it. I could fire off 30 of those in the next hour, maybe 10 minutes, really.
Yeah.
Do you, if one of those 30 people was like, in the last week, was talking about potentially finding marketing for their company or somebody else's company, and that comes through, what do you think's going to happen?
Well, they're gonna think about you because you thought about them first, and the law of reciprocity has already kicked in, and they're chemically bound to you because you're like, hey man, I want to give to you before I even ask anything from myself, because I'm not asking anything.
Right.
And I agree with that 100%. I took a lady out for lunch she works at AAA. This is like 2-3 years ago, whatever it was. And she's like, you know what? No one's taking me out to lunch without asking for anything. So I'm going to comp your next 2 years on your AAA, membership on me, because I can, because you thought of me first. And I'm like, holy shit, are you fucking for real? My best friend's a commercial electrician. One of my other good friends is a handyman. Very, very highly skilled individuals. But I mean, I referred my buddy who's a handyman to my parents yesterday, literally, to go over to their now going to be soon to be old house, to fix some stuff for their now renters. Because they asked me to go over there with some tools. I'm like, motherfuckers, you obviously don't know me. I can't fix a fucking light bulb. This is not my forte. But now he's going to make $75 just for showing up and then bill hourly for whatever he needs to do. So I put some money in his pocket. He doesn't even know it yet because I referred him. But it's that's the point of just paying it forward on a consistent basis. Gene, is that kind of the direction you were going on that?
Yeah, I just think that if you find yourself in people's wheelhouses and delivering a goodwill or a good message, and they're in a need for something that you provide, they're way more likely at that point to reach out to you or go. I mean, I can't tell you how many times it says, dude, it's so funny you contacted me when you did because I need X. You know what I mean? And I just feel like, and if you go into that with no expectation of anything, I just said, let's talk about binding it to business, but pretend you just rattled off, call it contact roulette. You just go through your phone book and you go, whoop, and you go, dude, haven't seen each other in 33 years. I just reconnected. I showed you this book on this podcast a while ago.
Which one?
This guy, Build Your Brand.
Oh, yeah.
Like you give a shit. That's my buddy, Bobby G. Rob G. We used to call Chill Rob G. We used to call him. And I ran with that dude in high school. I reconnected with him 2 months ago over a Zoom call. I haven't talked to him in fucking 20 years. And it was just one of these things. Now, I didn't send him any business. He didn't send me any business. I bought his book, right? And I reviewed his book. But I got to rekindle and reconnect with a guy that I ran around with and caused trouble with for 100 years ago. That by itself was rewarding. Somewhere down the road, who knows what else will happen? Wait,
Nick,
you're muted, dude.
Nick, I had to mute because my dog was barking. I said ran around is like actually running around as friends, not like you were on track team together.
No, we weren't on track.
That's
we used to run around from the cops. I think
we used to run around.
You ran away.
We ran around in my neighborhood.
Run around from the cops.
But it is really funny. Like I reconnected with one of my best friends, one of my best girlfriends yesterday, Gina. I've known her for 15 plus years. And I hit her up yesterday and I was just like, dude, you've been on my mind. Like, I want to get together with you. Let's get a cup of water. Let's get a beer. Let's get a cocktail. Let's do something. She's like, that's so weird. I was just thinking about you this morning. And so we got to reconnect. I did that with my other friend, Lisa, and I called her. I'm like, dude, I don't know what is going on, but you're on my brain. And I just had to reach out and say hi. She's like, you've been on my brain too. And so it's very interesting to see how the universe speaks to you, but we have to be open to listening to the universe when it talks. Because when you're out there and you're talking to these folks through your database or anything else, and you get that gut urge, like, I got to call Steve, I got to call Rebecca, I got to call Lisa, I got to call Gina, I got to call Mike, whatever it is. And if you obey it, you'll probably get some really good insights and you're going to be able to reconnect and rebuild that relationship. If you don't, well, that's on you, homie. But
so it's funny you went on that rant because I literally have to call Lisa at 3:00.
Which
I do.
is
It just popped up on my schedule.
10 minutes from now.
Are you guys interested? Are you guys interested in seeing the Billions trailer from HBO that I pop in and out of?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Let's see if you can catch it because in the trailer it happens super quick. During the episode, I was on for like 25, 30 seconds, but in the trailer, this is what they were showing leading up to the next episode. So wait, let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
Oh, come on. This is going to be awesome. You've sent this to me before, but I haven't seen this thing in like years.
Yes, it's been a long time. I don't know. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it.
All right, let's see if you.
Let me switch over my mic real quick. Hold on.
All right.
Let me switch my mic because then that way at least you'll get some audio. Let's see if it in here. Tell me if you hear it.
You, Charles
Yeah, we can hear
Rose, empower the president of fire. Chuck has got to keep his position cemented. That's the primary thing.
Yep.
I saw you.
Legitimacy.
I missed it.
On the left.
He's on the left.
Position cemented. That's
Oh, there he is. Okay. Unbelievable.
Your claim to fame.
Unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, and I want to say a couple things here. I didn't know what to expect. First of all, one of the
Hey,
reasons I wanted
switch
to go.
back. Switch your mic back.
Oh yeah. One of the reasons why I wanted to go. There we go. How's that better?
There you go.
Was because I love her. I think she's a smoke show. Like I was like, her name's Wendy and that Wendy Rhodes. I didn't really have Giamatti's my people, right? That's Giamatti, Volpe, right? I was like, whatever. That dude hung around for. So first of all, that was the only. I actually have a SAG card. They had to send me an Actors Guild card because I got paid. They paid me to do that.
Wow.
It was so stupid. And when I tell you they paid me, I mean, it was like I was probably up there for 14 hours, and I think they sent me like $128. Like,
Yeah.
did
you get to go to the craft food? Isn't that the thing? They have craft food everywhere.
I don't know what the hell it was. It wasn't. I mean, it was a super super cool experience. I didn't go for the money, obviously. I didn't think I was going to get any money, to be honest. I just went up because I actually got a Facebook ad that said, "Do you love poker?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And they were like, "Do you love billions?" And I was like, "As a matter of fact, I do." And they were like, "Come be a poker player at Billions." And I was like, "Done deal." and then they called me, and I said,
"You should answer those surveys on Facebook," is what you're saying.
Yes.
You never know.
Well, they were talking directly to me.
Yeah, it's either going to be a total scam and drain your bank account, or you'll end up on a movie.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I went to the wife when I realized they locked it in. I had to go to JFK Airport in New York, so I left the house at like 3:00 in the morning to get there, and I was gone for like 40 hours. So I was saying to my wife, I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna go." She's like, "They're gonna put you into an alley and beat you and take all your jewelry and money," and I'm like, "No, they're not. No, they're not." And it ended up being that I was supposed to be an extra, and this comedy of errors of things that took place ended up with me in a casino, and they start taping by my feet. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And all of a sudden, here comes Giamatti and this woman. And he's like, "Hey, how you doing? It's good to see you." I'm like, "Good to be here." And all the people that we were with, there had to be 10,000, 5,000, 6,000 extras. And I got talking to,
What? Seriously, that many?
If you watch the episode, it was the grand opening of a casino.
Oh.
And I played a mob part. I was part of the mob that is supposed to make friends with him or whatever, if you watch the show. And we walk away from him. If you look at that, he's supposed to be taking pictures with us, and we bail because we don't want to be seen with him. That's kind of how the episode kicks off, I think. So he comes up, and the guy was with me. He was like, "Dude, how long have you been doing this?" And I was like, "About 8 hours." And he's like, "How the fuck did you? I've been doing this my whole life. I never got to speak. Like, I never got to roll with the." Yeah, it was hilarious, dude. It was so stupid, so funny.
So what I'm hearing is, as a marketer, I'm shaming you, and I need to go to your website right now, because if there's not As Seen on Showtime on your webpage,
I'll save you the trouble. It's HBO number one, and no, there's not.
No, it's Showtime. Billions is Showtime.
You sure?
Yeah, 100%. Because I haven't seen it. I don't have Showtime. That's how I know. I have HBO. I never did Showtime.
You could be right.
There could be some logic
Either way,
there.
As Seen on Billions should be on your website.
That should be.
How
Dude,
about that?
Listen, we had seconds. So these guys all know me from like where my kids go to school. And when I tell you that they were messing with me forever, I'm like, dude, I'm going to have a screening party. Like, we're going to have a screening party up here. And you're not invited. We ended up not doing it. But.
Lame. Okay, so Power Coffee Hour. How do we wrap this up?
Super Power Coffee Hour. Yeah.
You want to reconnect with people.
Yep.
Get a Calendly link, right? Book 15-minute spots and tell everybody you know that there are no strings attached, that you are here as a friend, and I would like to connect via Zoom and chat over coffee.
Love it.
And talk about my exposure on Billionaire.
Yeah.
Not Billionaire, Billions.
Yeah.
Billions, sorry.
But the essential part, I think the essential part of this whole thing, that people are going to hear this and they're going to go, "Oh, that's a great idea." And next thing you know, we're going to see on Facebook people posting, "Find out about the latest mortgage rate drop on the Power Hour." No.
No.
This ain't about that.
No.
This ain't about the newest marketing tip. This isn't about how I sell your home with my 247 marketing point plan. This is I'm Nick Sakis. We are friends. We haven't talked in a while. Drink some coffee with me.
That's it.
Yeah, kick back and maybe put a shot of vodka or whiskey in there, whatever your flavor is, or maybe a cup of tea.
Do a happy hour, Superpower happy hour. You know what I mean? Like, do a 4 to 6 window, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. You want to drink wine or whiskey? Do it. It doesn't matter to me.
It's about the connection. That's the biggest point that we're talking about here.
I agree.
So go back, guys, and watch our last episode that we just did with James Rembrandt, the Zillow Killer, talking about high tech. Now we're talking about low tech but high connectivity for the folks that are in your life right now or have been in your life in the past that you just haven't talked to. And like Gene said, 20 years, 15 years. But guess what? It might land you on a TV show. It might land you a listing. It might land you just a reconnection that's going to put business in your bank account, because they might know somebody's thinking about buying or selling. So, gentlemen, I got to tell you, I have literally laughed my butt off this entire show. So
Quite a roller coaster of emotions in the past 2 hours.
Yes, I mean, I was crying and then we're laughing. This is just so
Yeah, right.
emotional. Oh, let's do colors on the bow for the show. Nick, give me your first color for the bow on the show.
What was my color last episode? Did we go
Oh,
purple?
shit. I think you want red or blue or royal blue or no, no, James is black and black. I think you guys both went green.
I'll go Rays baby blue because it's getting pretty close to baseball season.
It is. I can't. Oh, by the way, anyone, whoever comes out to the East Bay, San Francisco area, if you guys ever want to go to a Giants game, just let me know. I have tickets. I have access to a private club out there. It's called the Gotham Club. Yeah, I'm a founding member of it's called the Gotham Club. And we have private entrances, elevators, different bars.
You offer the audience, your audience members get first access to this perk that I've never heard of after how many hundreds of episodes on this show. Unfucking believable. We need to have a power coffee hour, my friend.
Well, you learn now that I like to skydive, and now I'm a
I know.
Founding member in the private
club. I didn't even know you, bro.
So many jokes. Okay, so we have the Rays with the baby blue color. Gene, what's your color? You're muted, dipshit.
No, I'm not. I didn't say anything. I know what I'm doing. It's I don't know if we talked about this. Go Birds! The Eagles playing the Super Bowl on Sunday, and I'm going Eagles green. Go Birds!
Our friend Alyssa, who's in the chat right now, is also saying green. And I don't know if it's for Philly or if it's just green in general.
She's talking.
I think she had a green background, right? She had a green.
Yeah.
I think she did. Yeah. And yes, Alyssa is called the Gotham Club. Just type it in Gotham Club, San Francisco Giants. You'll figure it out. It's very easy to find. Then go to images, kind of see the downstairs area. Then it goes up to the upstairs area where we have our own bowling alley, all kinds of stuff. All right. So we have Eagles green. We have Rays baby blue.
Baby blue. Rays. It's baby blue. Yeah.
Okay. Baby blue and Eagles green. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys got a couple of laughs. Got a little emotional, had some fun, enjoy the episode, share it everywhere and anywhere. If someone could use this, doesn't matter what they're going through, just get the content out there, have some fun. We love you. We appreciate you. We cannot do this show without you. So we appreciate you more than you could possibly ever imagine. I love you. Nick loves you. Gene loves you. And we will see you on the next show. So until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.